with our argument. So now deductive, we are going to look at the forms valid and invalid. Okay, valid arguments. So let's first look at valid arguments. Whatever we looked at, all the questions or the arguments we looked at, that we said it is logic. Any logic argument is also called valid argument. Please listen to it very well. All logic arguments is called what? It's also what? Valid argument. So all the examples that we saw, that we were saying it is logic, those arguments can also be called what? A valid argument. Now here's one example. All KZ girls are beautiful. We brought the first premise here, right? Here. So making the whole argument what? Logic. So the fact that it is logic means it is what? Valid. That is all. So here have it in mind that valid arguments satisfy the logical condition. Okay. Now, when we say the truth condition, you see, I gave one example about birds sing, pig is a bird, and therefore pig can sing. That argument is false, and you see that one does not count here. Do you get it? Yeah. So you have it in mind that all valid, when we say an argument is valid, it means that argument satisfies what? The logical conditioning. Example, sorry. Let me check whether I will get example for you. I think I have already used all, or yes, I've almost talked about my examples. Okay, so unless maybe I find another example, then we'll talk about it. Okay, let's talk about this one. Okay, so now it is raining, right? So let me say, if it rains, the ground will be wet. If it rains, the ground will be wet. Okay, there's the first part. Then the second part, I am saying it's rained. Therefore, it's rained or it is raining. So therefore, the ground, so it is, let me say it is raining so that I can write something in common. It is raining. Is it one N or double N? Like this. So it is raining. Therefore, the ground will be wet. Okay, so this is an argument. Now you have made me understand that if it rains, the ground will be wet, right? And so we have all accepted it, that once it rains, the ground will be wet. I hope you get it. Now, what are the two items here? It is talking about the rain and the ground being wet. What? Wet. Okay. So the second evidence, it is talking about the rain here. So it has come down, the first or the antecedent has now been established here. So once the rain has come here, it is making the argument what? Valid or logic. I hope you get it. And so when we say valid argument, this is an example of a valid argument. I hope you get it now. So you can also use the case big girls are beautiful. You can also use let's say all birds can sing, pig is a bird. So you see all birds can sing, pig is a bird. So therefore pig can sing. So you see the bird here is here. So the A that you are seeing here has now been established in the second premise. I hope you get it. So it means whether it is true or false, because it is following this pattern, it is valid or logic. I hope you get it. So have it in mind that all valid arguments are either true or false. Do you get it? All valid arguments, they are either true or false. I hope you get it now. Okay. So the only time you will say the argument is invalid is when you change them. Okay, it's when you bring the b here and you say therefore a. We have established a norm, or let's say uh, something that once in alphabetical order, once a comes, b will follow. So you can't tell me that now b is here, so therefore a will follow. That one is what? Invalid. I hope you get it. That one is what? Invalid. That is not even a probability for us to regard it as what? Inductive. That is invalid. Totally what? Invalid. So once you bring the b here and you bring the a here, it is making it what? Invalid. So now we are done with the valid. And when we say invalid, it is when the b comes here and you bring the a here. So the same example. If it rains, the ground will be wet. So if I say the ground is wet, now I hope you understand the valid and the logic, right? So we are moving on to the invalid, but then I'm using the same examples so that you read it very well in an examination or in class. So it is raining. Now I am cleaning the second premise. Always the argument, you are going to judge it based on what? The second, because this one will determine everything. So the ground is wet. The ground is wet. Therefore, it rained. Therefore, it is raining, or you can say therefore it's rained, right? So therefore it is raining. Okay. So you see that this is A from the principle. This is what? A, and this is B. Now B has come down here. You see, it is A that is supposed to be here. So now B has come down here. So since B is here, it means the argument is what? Invalid. Period. You get it? It means the argument is what? Invalid. And that is what we mean. So the ground is wet. If you tell me that if it rains, the ground will be wet, then if I come outside and the whole compound is wet, it does not mean that it rained. Do you get it? It could be, let's say, someone poured water on the ground. Do you get it? Yes. It could be any other factors. It does not necessarily mean it rained. That is why I'm saying it is what? Invalid. So always, if the rain comes here, it makes it valid. Okay. Yes. So we are done with the valid and the invalid. Let's look at the sound and unsound. We are still basing on the condition, because I told you if you forget the conditions, that is all. Now you know what is logic, or you know what is valid, right? Validity. Logic means it must follow the pattern. That is the same as valid. Okay. If it does not follow the pattern like this, we are saying the pattern is this: if A, then B. So if A comes here, therefore B. There is the pattern. So anytime B will come here for A to come here, it has it has broken down what the pattern. Do you get it? Yeah. So that one will be classified as what? Invalid. Okay. Yeah. So this is valid. Now that you know valid, we are going to look at something called sound, right? If the argument is valid, don't forget, valid can be true or false. But if the argument is valid and the premises or everything about the argument is true, then we can say that argument is what? Sound. It means the valid arguments which are false, that one are unsound. I hope you get it. The valid arguments that are true, example, this is a valid argument. So don't know, this is invalid. So let me change it to a valid argument. The ground is it is raining, right? It is raining. Okay. It is raining, therefore the ground is wet. Therefore the ground is wet. Therefore, the ground is wet. Okay, so this is a valid argument because rain and wet, A, B. Now the A is here. So now we know it is valid, right? Now we check everything about this argument. Is it true or false? In our natural world, is it true or false? We know that immediately it rains, the whole ground will be what? Wet. And so it makes this argument what? True. Although it is valid and it is also what? True. So it means it is logic and it is what? True. And once the argument is valid and you check everything about the argument and it is true, we say the argument is what? Sound, a person. Do you get it? That is what in our normal word we used to say, a person. Do you get it? So what you are saying is not sound to me. Do you get it? Or this person is not sound. If you tell someone this person is not sound, it means you are saying what he is saying is non-foul, something, something. Do you get it? Yes. But immediately saying what you are saying is very sound. Do you get it? A person. It means what you are saying is what valid and also what true. I hope you get it. Yes. So that is what we are talking about here. So this is an example. This is valid, and everything about this is what true. Now let's look at another one and look at this very well, whether it is sound or unsound, right? We are saying for sound argument, it must be valid, and the premises and everything of the argument must be true. Okay. Yes. So let me clean this one. Let me clean this one. So look at this example. I have it here, right? Let me write it well so that all birds can sing. Pig is a bird. Therefore, pig can sing. Right. Now we have the two here. This is A, this is B. We have the A here making the argument valid. Is that true? Yes. Now we want to check whether the argument is sound or unsound. Now that we know that the argument is valid, let's check whether it is sound or unsound. Is the whole argument true? If it is true, then it is sound. If the whole argument is false, then it is what? Unsound. So let's check. All birds can sing. That's a big lie. Pig is a bird. Big lie. Therefore, pig can sing. Another big lie. So everything about this argument is what? False. Do you get it? There is no what pattern here. So in this case, we are going to say that the argument is what? Unsound. It is valid, but not sound. So it is valid and unsound. The argument is what? Valid. It follows the pattern, but it is not true. I hope you get it. It follows the pattern. And don't forget, the reason why we are saying is that I want you to understand this part of the topic very well. That is why I keep on emphasizing here. This one may be true or false, right? Then when you come down here, the sound will take the true part and the unsound will take the false part. I hope that is clear. So every argument which follows the pattern and is either way true or false is a valid argument. But then the one with true premises and everything is sound. The one with the false premises and everything is what? Unsound. That is all. So I can say we are done with the deductive argument. Okay, we are done with everything and the deductive what arguments. Okay, let's move on to the inductive argument. Okay, the inductive argument. Okay, so yeah, I've gotten some of the words here. Certainly, definitely, as a result, it implies that thus. Okay, so thus, as a result, it implies that. Yes, they are all deductive indicator words. Okay, so now that we are done with deductive argument. Let's look at what inductive argument. Okay, so please let's look at strong inductive argument. So we have the inductive here, we have strong and what weak, and we all know that inductive is what less than 100% what accurate, right? So strong argument here, you know the indicator words, right? You know we have few, we have many, we have less, we have probable, likely, and all that. They are all indicator words. They are words that are indicating that a certain argument, if you see those words in any argument, it means that particular argument is an inductive argument. So if you see an argument like many KSB girls, sorry, many KSB girls are beautiful. Okay, Amma is a KSB girl. Amma is a KSB girl. Therefore, Amma is a KSB girl. Therefore, um, Amma is beautiful. Therefore, Amma is beautiful. Okay. Yes. So this is an argument, but what are you seeing here? You are seeing many, right? So any argument, although sometimes some of the inductive arguments may have all. Anytime you hear the indicator word all, it means they are referring to the whole population, and so they are basing on specific, like the total number of let's say the population, right? But this one many, so it means they are taking some parts, most of or the most part of that population. I hope you get it. Yeah, so this many is not 100%. So if I have 100% and you say many, the many can be 60%, it can be 70% or 80%. I hope you get it. But it's not 100%. But if you say all, it means 100%, and that one becomes inductive. But then there are exceptions. Sometimes inductive can also have all, but it is not likely. Not most of the time. Sometimes, but not most of the time. So many KSB girls are beautiful. Here, many here, you know that you are talking about inductive argument. So we are going to determine whether this argument is strong or weak. Does it follow the pattern? Many KSB girls are beautiful. KSB girl is here. Amma is beautiful. So this argument is, how do you call it? It follows a pattern, right? But what are you seeing here? You are seeing the indicator word what? Many. I hope you get it. You are seeing the indicator with many. So it means not all, not 100%. So you can say it is inductive what? Argument. But then if it is inductive argument, then you ask yourself, is it strong or weak? Right? Because under the deductive argument, we came to realize we have valid and invalid. And under the inductive, do you have what? Strong? Is the argument strong or is the argument weak? I hope that is clear. That is what we are looking at. So for a strong inductive argument, um, it will definitely follow the pattern. I hope you get it. But then you will see some indicator words within it, like the many here, making it what? Inductive argument. But if it follows the pattern, it means it is correct. But there is another thing to look at, or the most important thing. That is, let me group them. Strong has many, because if I have 100% and you are basing on 60%, it is more than half of the 100%. 70%, it is more than half of the 100%. So the word many, if I have 100 people and I say many of them, do you get it? Although not all of them. So I am taking some higher quantity. So that one, many makes the argument what? Strong. Then you can talk about almost. Almost is not all. You can talk about most. Most is not all, but more than what? Half. And you can also talk about, sometimes you'll be given percentages, okay? So 60%, 70%, or etc. Then, okay, so let me have this for the strong. Then for the weak, for the weak, oh, for the weak, we have less. Sometimes you'll be seeing some. So sometimes you classify some as a weak argument. So you use them in examples and you'll be seeing them, okay, some. And sometimes few, maybe 40%, 30%, etc. Okay, yes. So what is making this argument strong is that this one, they didn't say all but many, so making it more than half of the total population, right? So if I say yes, most of KSB girls, I'm using most here. Where is it? Most. So most of KSB girls are beautiful. Amma is a KSB girl, therefore Amma is beautiful. I use the indicator word what? Most, and you know that most is what? More than 50%. And so if I take 50% and or let's say yes, if I take more than 50% in my argument, you see, although it is not 100% accurate, but then I'm giving you a strong point. I hope you get it. Yes. So for example, let's say we are late for lectures. Okay, we are 5. We are late for lectures. Then one person entered the room. They caned him. Another person, we are 5. So let's say 3 of them entered the lecture hall. They caned them. And me being the 4th person, I am also saying that when I enter, they will cane me. Is my point not strong? Because we are 5. 3 people have entered, but then they caned them. Me being the 4th person, I can conclude to say that when I enter, they will kill me. But meanwhile, it could be that when they entered, they were not properly dressed. That's why they killed them. So me, they will not kill me. I hope you get it. Or maybe when they see my face, yes, they might consider me. There is a probability there. So anything about probability is inductive. But if it is more than the quantity or that particular thing you are taking into consideration, if it is more than 50%, then you can say the argument is very strong. So that is almost, so you see, most KSB girls are beautiful, or almost every girl in KSB is very nice. You can be using the indicator words and all that, and that is what you use to judge whether the argument is how do we call it, strong or weak. Okay, or the argument is strong or weak. So if this one I used mean, if I say few Ghanaian few Ghanaians live abroad. Kofi, Kofi, my marker is not coming. Kofi is a Ghanaian. Kofi is a Ghanaian. Therefore, Kofi lives abroad. Look at my argument. Here I'm saying few Ghanaians live abroad. And I'm saying Kofi is a Ghanaian. You are saying few. So it means less than 50% of Ghanaians live abroad. Do you get it? So what is the high probability that Kofi is a Ghanaian, so he will live abroad? Where the high percentage falls within, that is where we base on. So if the high percentage of Ghanaians are in Ghana, you see few, so it means the lower percentage lives abroad and the high percentage live in Ghana. Do you get it? So if you take anyone in consideration, the person must live in Ghana. Then we can say that one your argument is strong. But you are telling me few people are living abroad, less than 50% of Ghanaians, and you are telling me Kofi is a Ghanaian. So does it guarantee Kofi to be living abroad? It doesn't guarantee. Do you get it? So the few here is very weak. It's making the argument what? Weak. But if you say most of Ghanaians, most, do you get it? And that one, there is high probability that Kofi will be among those people living abroad. But this one, the probability is low because if those living in abroad they are 30%, and you are saying Kofi is a Ghanaian, the probability that Kofi will fall within those few people, 30%, is very low, right? It's very low. I hope you get it. So that is the argument we are making here under the strong and weak. So for weak, just have it in mind the indicator words, okay? Yes, the indicator words and all that. Yes, I will have another video to just teach you on how to determine an argument, whether it's being inductive or deductive. This one is just the simple examples, okay, that you'll be taught in class. But we also have some analytical examples. Let's say it can talk about sugar and all that, but then it will be in the form of essay. Do you get it? So you read, and that one you determine whether that argument they are making there is valid or invalid. I'll make a video on that. Arguments from definition, arguments by mathematics, hypothetical syllogisms, and all that. Yes, I'll be making videos on them. Okay, so this is how to determine the inductive argument, whether it is strong or weak. Okay, so now let's look at cogent and non-cogent. The cogent here talks about, sound, right? Sound is when the argument is valid and the whole argument is true. Unsound is when the argument is valid but the whole argument is false, like the best all best things and blah blah blah. So the same thing when you come to the strong here. This is a strong argument, but then if it is true, then it is cogent. If it is, how do we call it? If it is not true, then we can say that is what? Uncogent. Then how do you know it is true or it is not true? This one is saying many KSB girls are beautiful. We are saying many, yes, so we are building a point. Amma is a KSB girl, so therefore Amma is beautiful. That one, yes. We are saying because there is an indicator word here, many, it is making the whole argument what? Strong. But then if you look at it and it is following the pattern, right? Like the girls, KSB girls, KSB girls, yes. And so KSB girls, KSB girls, it follows the logical pattern and all that. Yeah, you can say that one is cogent. But then if it deviates, you see this one is making it inductive. So if I cancel this one and bring the beautiful here, it has deviated from the logical, right? So in that case, we will send it to uncogent. Do you get it? And so that brings us to the end of what? Argument. I'll also make another video on how to determine an argument from what? Analysis. Okay, just an essay, a little bit, like 3 sentences or 4 sentences. Yes, you read, then you analyze it, whether it is deductively valid, inductively strong or weak. Is it deductively valid and sound, deductively valid and unsound, and all that? I hope you get it. Yeah, so that is the end of today's lesson. I will meet you again and we will talk about how to determine arguments. Okay, how to determine the type of argument. Once again, my name is Afari Ernest. You can call me Grade Tutor or CEO. Thank you for joining me today and have a nice day.